watching a video on flower essences. This particular one is on the White Henbane Higher Self flower essence. So what's a flower essence and how do you use it? We'll get to those. A flower essence is the vibrational essence of the flower or plant, usually the flower, but not always, that's solarized or set under the sun or some other light source in water to capture that essence and then preserved usually with an alcohol of some sort. I have used brandy for my essences, and it's about a 50-50 mix. It's not enough to get intoxicated, but it is alcohol. There are no plant parts that are used in any of my flower essences, and I like to emphasize that one on this one because it is White Henbane, a less toxic version of one of the witch's flying herbs or ointments that are used, that in excess amounts can be deadly. Again, no plant parts used, so we're not worried about that, but just a little disclaimer for you. It is your body, and you have the ability to discern what's right and healthy for you. This particular essence, I grew this plant. I purchased this plant from Harold Roth, and I gotta say that was one of the best plant purchases I have ever made in my life. That is such a jovial, loving, powerful, big bush that grew out of the tiny plant that I got from Harold, and is still growing today and has produced more seeds than I can count. I have seed pods out the wazoo of White Henbane. I've seeded some of them in hopes that I can cultivate and grow some additional ones in myself and maybe offer them to you. But I want to say this, it is a flying herb. So when I worked with this plant, one of the first sensations I had in meditating with the flowers and with the leaves is a sensation of being lifted higher, of being carried, right? Of being held. And that's strongly connected to me, not just through the plant, at the heart level connecting to this plant. There's a big relationship aspect to working with the White Henbane, but also to the starry self or the higher self, some would say divine self. And so those two things started to occur together, that I was having a sensation of being directly connected to my divine source, my higher self, my most magical self, at a heart level. I use this essence to cultivate relationships. Cultivating a relationship with the plant helped me to create an essence that helps us to cultivate cultivate relationships with our higher selves and with each other. That can be with your sacred space, that can be with stones and crystals that you use, that can be with yourself and your own body, understanding your processes, that can be with relationships that you have in your life. How do you use flower essences? You take them subliminally, you put them under the tongue, right? So I take, with this particular essence, I suggest 1 to 3 drops. Again, it doesn't contain parts of the plants, but the vibration is really high, so I probably wouldn't do this before bed because you're not going to sleep. In the morning, in your meditation practice, whatever that looks like for you, or the 3 to 5 minutes that you take to breathe before you have coffee, any of those things, you take 1 to 3 drops under the tongue, and you sit with it. You sit and you breathe. You find the breath that's right for you in your body. You feel your body. You listen to the essence inside your body, and you develop that first relationship with it. If you take it in the afternoon, some people take it 2 or 3 times a day. You could take it in the morning, the afternoon, and the early evening would be a great time to do that. The alternative way that you could do it is you can take the drops and you can place them in the water, the 1 to 3 drops again, and then cultivating the relationship and the energy, bringing the energy into you that way rather than directly into the tongue through the water that you drink. I don't suggest tea until you've made yourself properly introduced to the flower essence, and then afterwards, if you wanted to add it, like maybe some tulsi, or some sort of like lavender bergamot, or something that's really pleasing to you. Maybe even a tea that's conversational, like a green tea, or a good black tea that you might have with witch's tea, right? That would be a great way to work with it. Although I would first work with it internally with yourself, just so you understand how the essence works. And then I suggest working with them for about 3 weeks minimum, just to see how that starts to change in your world. It doesn't necessarily affect you, boom, dramatically, boom, right? Some people are really sensitive and they do have an effect with it. The overall effect of working with the flower essence is over time, right? You don't have to complete the whole bottle, right? You're just working with it for 3 weeks to a month to generate and create that experience. And then when you're done, suddenly you're forgetting to use it. You take the bottle, you store it in a cool, dry place, put it in the refrigerator, and it should be good there for up to 2 years, right? You want to check it, right? Because it is a preservative, and it can't prevent anything from happening to it. But just generally, that's what it's good for. You can also try working with it with a necklace. Like I have this one that sits over my heart center. I call this one Heart Speak, because it is a goat jaw, made by Matthew Venus at Spiritus Arcanum. And I got this at Temple Fest 2019 with the Temple of Witchcraft. You could put it on something like this to help resonate that energy. Speaking from the heart with your highest wisdom could be a good way to use that one. Putting it on earrings, over a period of time. And any of these things with necklaces or crystals or jewelry, you want to do it repeatedly, maybe for the cycle of a new moon to a full moon, to get it to resonate with that jewelry or that stone or crystal that you're using. Earrings for hearing your higher self, right? I don't know, play with it. I always look forward to hearing how people have used these things in their own personal practice. I like the crystal aspect because then this is something that you can use in ceremony or ritual to sit with you as a doorway or a focus. If you feel separated or disconnected from your divine self, this can be an entryway or a portal to magnify those energies for you. Ultimately, it's about cultivating relationship with body, with self, with each other, with your planet, through that divine wisdom, that divine love that is imminent. It's all around us, it's present. We just turn our heads away from it, right? And so this one carries us back to that place where we can remember what that connection is again, right? It's your body. I advise you using this, in the way that's right and healthy for you. If this is not something, alcohol is not something that you would use, I don't advise taking this internally. I advise using it externally. Another way, check in with your healthcare provider if you have any concerns, or your nutritionist, and trust your body and your intuition. It's your responsibility and your personal sovereignty. This is magic, and I hope you enjoy the White Henbane essence. Bye-bye.